to the SOULFIRE podcast, where healing is raw, truth is sacred, and your story gets to burn and rebuild in the same breath. I'm Power Coach Alishia, pattern breaker, soul mirror, fire starter, and the unapologetic voice of the burn it down and rise anyways revolution. We don't fluff your wounds, we don't filter your truth, and we don't water down healing so that people stay comfortable. You've spent way too damn long proving your worth to people who only love the version of you that stayed small, quiet, and convenient. If you've ever swallowed your truth to keep the peace, shrunk yourself to stay chosen, or disappeared in your life, this season isn't just a reset or another motivational podcast. This is where you reclaim your voice, your fire, and your fucking self. I'll give you the truth that heals, frameworks that hold, and soul codes that will change how you live, lead, love, and rise. Lovey, come forward. It's time for you to embody your wholeness. And I'm not only leading this season, I'm living it right beside you. Let's fucking go. Get ready for this one because there's a lot that's going to be thrown down in this episode. And, you know, we are episode 9 of this season. And listen, I know how powerful this season has been. And I wanted to use the word heavy instead of powerful right there. But it isn't about it being heavy, right? Like, if this feels heavy to you, well, guess what that means? It just means that you need to show the fuck up for yourself. If this feels like, man, fuck, this is a lot, it's because it fucking is. It is. It is a lot. Because however long you've been doing this and allowing this and treating yourself this way, it makes it a lot. It's called the compound of self-abuse through avoidance. The compound of self-abuse through carrying everyone else's shit that wasn't yours to hold. The compound of self-abuse because you felt like in order to be worth it, you had to earn and prove and give everything you had to give until you had nothing left, and then asked yourself why the fuck you weren't showing up and being the best version of you. Somehow you still told yourself that you weren't good enough even after all of that. So, as we wrap May's crazy Unlocking Your Divine Assignment. Oh my God. Unlocking Your Divine Assignment series and theme, where we've been talking about letting desire lead and letting your soul choose. And we're talking about the soul assignment that you're avoiding is the one that will set you free, because hyper independence isn't strength, it's abandonment. And we've talked about this already in, I don't remember what episode it was. Let's just look here really quick. It was episode 4. You don't need to heal alone. You were never meant to. You know, it really ties into that, because we're going to first go into today about you don't have to do it alone anymore. There's a huge lie about self-sufficiency, because we've gotten this idea that taking it all on ourselves, doing it all ourselves, taking care of everything ourselves is power. Hyper independence isn't power. It's protection in disguise. You're doing that to protect yourself from something. Something, somewhere, someone along the lines told you that in order to survive, showed you that in order to survive, it's about being hyper independent. See, you know, we've talked a lot about, you know, what you need to do for yourself, and that sovereignty and that reverence. And it's true. There is a lot that you've got to set at someone else's feet, give them their box of shit so that you can step forward for yourself, for sure. But being hyper independent isn't going to help either. That's how I started every one of my relationships, because I didn't trust anyone to hold me. So I didn't ever allow myself to be held. In my life, I didn't trust no one to hold me. My dad died when I was 12 years old, and leading up to his death, he was the only one that held me. He was the one person that I felt loved from that, the man. And, there were other men. I know my Uncle Bruce and my Uncle Randy and my papa and Galvin. Like, there were men in my life that loved me, but I put it all in my dad's hands, like in my head as that little girl. And when he died, like up to that point, I trusted those men to hold me, but my dad was the anchor. The women in my life, my Aunt Kathy, my Aunt Maria, my Aunt Debbie, my Aunt Sherry, like my grandma Sharon, these are all people that aren't my real aunts and uncles and grandma. They are all my step aunts and uncles and grandma. I don't have my, except for my grandpa, my mom's dad is my blood, my papa. If I ever talk about him on the podcast, that's my mom's dad, and he's blood. But then he married my grandma Sharon, so all her kids and sisters became my aunts, uncles, blah, 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 cousins, right? So like my blood cousins that live in St. Louis and probably Memphis, Tennessee. That's where my dad was born. Um, I don't have a relationship with any of them. I look like my dad's sisters, but none of these people are the people in my life. And when my papa died, God, I wish I could remember what year that was. Oh, maybe 2004-ish, I would say. Maybe 2002. 2002. Okay. When my papa died in 2002, I lost all my aunts and uncles. I lost my grandma. I lost everything that I knew because he was the linchpin, right? He was the hinge. He was the, is linchpin the right word? I don't fucking know, but he was the one that was the connector. Isn't a linchpin a connector? I'm brilliant most of the time. Sometimes there's these moments of, what the fuck is she talking about? But you get it, right? Like, he was the connector and I lost everyone. And it was fucking wretched. But, prior to my papa dying, I didn't allow anyone to hold me. Like, when my dad died, I didn't trust anyone to hold me. And I never let myself be held, ever. From that day forward, it was like, it isn't going to happen. But you know what the fucking bullshit is? I wasn't even holding myself. I thought I was. You can listen to the earlier episodes of the podcast. That version of myself was very confident in what she was doing and how she was doing it. And I was soulfully honest every step of that way. It's just that hindsight is 2020 phrase, like when you look back, it's like she did feel like she was holding herself. She did feel like she had herself, but that version of her was just peeling back the layers for this version. So when I decided that, I've got it, that kind of I got it identity, and it came from survival. When my dad died, I knew that I was left with my mom that I felt hated me. And I felt so fucking unsafe that I realized that I had to have myself. I had to protect myself. And that's when like the massive protection was created of anytime I felt unsafe, I put up a wall and I would tear anybody fucking down through my words who made me feel unsafe. And that's how I learned to make it. And that was my I've got it identity. Like, no, fuck you. I've got me. And I will never allow you to hurt me the way that I was hurt. My whole childhood of never being good enough. My mom pushed me so hard to be better and to think bigger. She pushed me so hard to the levels of greatness and strength. And, the same thing that makes me the beautiful, phenomenal, fucking powerful woman that I am is the same thing that built the destruction that's in me as well. So it's like, you'll never hear me talk about, oh, woe was me, my mom was so mean, she didn't love me, wah, 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 wah. It doesn't come from that perspective. Yes, I got beat a lot. Yes, I felt like my mom hated me. Yes, it was fucking hard. Yes, it sucked. Yes, my dad died when I was 12. Yes, I hated that I was left with her. Yes, all of that is fucking true. But man, my mom is such a wonderful and phenomenal woman. Some of you have had the opportunity to meet her through different business courses, or even when I was on my speaking tour about 10 years ago. And she's a wonderful woman. And I always say that I hope that I'm, half the woman that she is. The way she looks at life and everything that she's been through. And just, she is fucking phenomenal. It doesn't take away the fact that growing up, I felt unloved. I felt like I was never good enough. And I was always doing my best to earn and prove to her that she didn't have to be mad at me anymore. She didn't have to push me. She didn't have to yell at me, like, kind of like a, see, mom, you don't have to be this way. We can be good together, And that's how my survival was born. Dad died, all these fucking people. I mean, dude, I just feel like everybody's always left me. And that's a very, like, broad, not a broad, but like a very definitive statement. It's just been like that a lot. It's like the majority of people leave. And it's part of my journey. My soul blueprint speaks it clearly. It's why my love relationships are fucking nightmare. As G would say, that's why he doesn't say this about relationships, but he uses this word instead of nightmare. That's why they're a fucking train wreck, because that's part of the journey that I'm here to do. If you know anything about birth charts and astrology, pretty much like, I'll tell you, I'll look at my birth chart right now and tell you, it is nuts how many of the planets are in the 7th house of love, relationships, family, home. 7th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are in the 7th house. And it's just, that's crazy. That's so many things to be in the 7th house. 5 planets in the 7th house. Like, it's no fucking wonder why half the time I feel like a shit show, I mean, I'm not really, but it feels like that. Venus, Mercury, like Venus is the planet of love and relationships and good things and fortune. Mercury is the planet of communication. Like, what the hell? These are huge planets that are there. And here I am with just my 7th house being stacked. And it's got the Pluto complex, which is death and rebirth. You just fucking layer that in. And it's, this is my journey. This is what I'm on. And, like I was telling my girlfriend, it's funny because I haven't ever brought back to the podcast that we reconnected. But if you listen to like my podcast episodes religiously, they had a falling out a little over a year ago with my childhood friend, Mag. And I don't even know if I ever said her name on the podcast, but I'm positive I did. Her name's really Stephanie, but I call her Mag. It's a whole thing, and it's just not. It's how it's been since I met her in 7th grade. We were 13 years old. I've known this woman for 28 years of my life, and we had this like stupid falling out about a year ago, and I talked about it a lot on the podcast, and it was part of like my healing and my processing of it all. But when I started building the massive, powerful, phenomenal foundations that is my soul astrology business now, which if you're on my email list, you've seen all of these things and you've heard the story of the reconnection. But I was just telling her, like, God, it sucks so bad. It feels like it. God, I think I just lost my train of thought. Hold on. I got to rewind. Why did I just bring her up and what I was saying to her? 7th house, right? That's what we were talking about. My journey being stacked here. Pluto complex, death and rebirth and transformation. I can't remember what the fuck. Damn it. What I was going to say. Well, regardless, we came back together and it's the most powerful that we've ever been in our whole relationship. And I hope that I remember what the hell I was going to say, because listen, Queen, if this episode lights something up, don't just sit with it. Come rise with us. The SOULFIRE podcast is your weekly reminder that healing isn't about fixing who you are. It's about remembering who the fuck you've always been. And if you're craving more than just words, if you want community, authentic power, momentum, and soul transformation, then I want you to come join us in the free Star Guided Soul Healing community. This isn't another group. It's a vortex of women who are done pretending, who are reclaiming their power, their voice, and their divine assignment, and who know they were never meant to do this alone. Inside, we speak truth. We rise with soul-coded frameworks like Rise Times 3 and AUA, plus your own soul-coded values. We break patterns, we burn illusions, and we build empires because we rise. So come be witnessed, come be held, come be at home. Check out the link in the show notes. And please remember to subscribe, share, and send this podcast to a queen who's ready to rise. Now, back to the fire. God, it was so worth it. But if it was meant to be, I would remember, right? So we're gonna keep moving on. But the one thing that I realized is like you don't have to carry it all to prove you're worthy. And I spent my whole life carrying it all. I spent my whole fucking life carrying all. Oh, that's what it was. I was like, I'm so fucking tired. Like, I got to do this the rest of my life. I've got to have these hard relationships. Like, I get that it's part of my journey here. But, like, what am I missing? I mean, I've gone through all of it, man. I swear to God, I've gone through all of it. And I keep going through this repetitive cycle. And it's like, what am I not fucking learning? I feel like I'm learning things at rates that I can't even comprehend sometimes. And yet I still haven't learned what I need to learn in order to learn this lesson and not fucking deal with it. But then I think, yeah, but it's probably the entire lifetime that I will be learning this lesson. It's probably the entire lifetime that I'll be learning this lesson. Not, okay, once I learn it in this lifetime, then I don't have to worry about it anymore. I fucking doubt that in this lifetime that is going to go away, right? Because it's about me learning and ascending in this lifetime. So I don't live this again at another time. And again, I talk about my spiritual belief systems all the time on the podcast, and it's okay if you don't have the same belief systems as I do. It's not about you agreeing with my belief systems. It's about you knowing what yours are. And I felt like I always had to carry it all to prove that I was worthy. And some days I still find myself in proving and earning mode instead of going, no, 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 no. Me being me is enough, even on my worst day. Me being me is enough. You being you. Write that down. Me being me is enough, even on my worst day. You don't got to make up for yourself on your worst day. Trust me, whoever the fuck you wronged or hurt or whatever, they're going to have their worst day too. It's just part of, how it goes. Me being me on my worst day, I still don't have to prove anything. I'm still worthy of being loved and accepted as I am. And my whole life, I've never thought like that. Fuck me on my best day. I never thought like that. I still felt like I needed to do more. I needed to be more. I needed to show up more. I needed to love more. I needed to carry more. I needed to give more shit away to clients. I needed to be in more messengers. I needed to be carrying everybody in their pain and checking in on them and having everyone on my back. And, the fragmented Alishia has really struggled with that over the last few years. I've done it for so long. And it's like, the last few years I would be carrying and then disappear and then carry and then disappear. And it's like, fuck, man, I disappeared and I let all these people down. And it's just like, no, you don't have the capacity anymore to keep carrying. You got to get this shit off of you. And the thing is, I've also realized that along the way that I've really done a lot of healing and processing and learning and growing and everything alone. And the more and more that I am in my wholeness as Queen Alishia, I want to go to more like cosmic type events and astrological events and like deep spiritual events. I think that Gaia puts on events like that. And I want to be in those areas. I want to be around people. And I want to really like lean on people when I feel like I need support. And don't get me wrong, I've got me. I have built a whole healing system using AI that I've built for myself. It's customized for me. I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's really fucking cool. I have trained my AI to coach me. So basically, it's me coaching myself. I built the entire system inside of it so that I could have the support and help that I need along my journey. One life coach, one counselor, one inner child worker, one Reiki, one healer, one, human body code individually. It's not enough for me. I needed something built that had all of the things and could spit back out in real time, who could process my thoughts. So it's like my AI is like a panel of guides and deities leading me. But it's really it's myself and how bomb AI is with the internet, and it can bring stuff back. But I've coded it to use a specific healing modalities. So it doesn't just get to use whatever it wants. I want certain healing modalities and certain ways of responding to me, and the way that we walk it out, and the way that I heal, and the way that I process, and the actions that I take, and giving me what I need and blending it all together in this fucking phenomenal healing program. It's literally called the Inner Realms Ascension System. It's so fucking cool. Refusing support does not make you powerful. It makes you alone. And I find myself really I lean on Mag the most because we have the majority of the same spiritual beliefs. We do healing work every single day. We don't have a friendship where each other has to carry each other's weight. We still communicate that weight. We still share that weight. We still discuss that weight. We're still supportive of each other with that weight. It's so fucking beautiful though, because did I just say we carry each other's weight? We don't. We carry our own weight through our own healing modalities. However, we share it with each other and we're supportive of each other. It's like the most healthy relationship I've ever been in my life, which is nuts because we had this stupid, disconnection. I say stupid, let me rephrase. We had this pause, is what she calls it, and I love it. We had this pause for about a year because her and I were not synced. We were fragmented in ways that would have been destructive to each other in our relationship. And neither of us could hold each other. And because of where we were at that state, we would have put the pressure on the other one to hold us. And that's not a healthy relationship, whether it's a love relationship, a friend, mother, daughter, it doesn't matter. It's not healthy to be in relationships with people where you put pressure on them to hold you. And so the universe put a pause on that so that we could get ourselves calibrated within ourselves and come back together and have the most beautiful friendship that we've ever had. And let me tell you, this girl and I, we've gone through a lot in our life together. Like, we were, have you ever seen the movie? Okay, listen, don't get this twisted before I tell you this. We weren't the Banger Sisters, as in, if you've never seen the Banger Sisters, it's going to be weird to you, but there's a point in the movie that they're going through like their old boxes and is a whole bunch of dicks. That's all they did. They'd fuck all these guys. They were groupies on the road with all these bands, and they would just take pictures of the dicks. They wouldn't even take pictures of the faces, right? We're like the Banger Sisters, as in close as we were in a relationship and just like living life together and doing life together. We weren't like the Banger Sisters out there just having sex with a whole bunch of people and groupies, but um we really have had a beautiful journey in our life. And then we both had our children. She moved to San Diego, I moved to Florida, and we still connected every once in a while and like checked in, but we didn't stay deeply close. We were just kind of doing our own thing, and again, our paths went their own ways. But now that we've come back together, this time, we both know that we will be an active part of each other's life through the rest of this lifetime. And what I really love is, like I said, it's like the healthiest relationship that I've ever been in. We don't require each other to hold each other's weight, and we're just always there for each other. And it's really cool because it's supportive. It feels like a team. And although sometimes, like today, her pain and like how she felt today, it brought me to tears. And it brought me to tears because I feel identical to how she feels. And it just moved me in that way. Like I hated hearing her pain in her voice. I hated hearing how much she's struggling. And as she was just saying it and letting it all out, I just felt it deep within me because I feel identical to her. It wasn't sympathy or empathy. It was a knowing, like a frequency of sadness, a sync of like, yes, I feel you. And I realized that most of my friendships, I've done my best to have depth. But then I realized that they couldn't hold me. And when I say hold me, I don't mean fucking carry my shit. I've never really been one to lay my shit in someone else's lap and have them carry it. But they couldn't even hold a bad day to have someone to talk to and like walk it out with. So I learned to start writing my messages and responses in a way that I hate that I'm even telling you this. I would start sharing my day. I like literally not having people in my life that could hold me where we could walk this life out side by side. And now we're talking about friends, right? Fucked me up in a way because what it did was when I was having a bad day and I was having a hard time and they would ask me how my day was going, I would say how it was going, but then I would write but. And then I would say, I'm okay though. I'm working through it. I'm da 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 da. And my messages would always be like me sharing. And then the but as the conjunction. And then here's what I'm doing for myself just to take it away from them so that I wouldn't be let down because anytime I just shared how I felt, they wouldn't fucking respond anyways. Or like nowadays, Like, don't fucking do this. Please don't do this. I don't give a fuck. Just don't do what I'm about to say because this is something I fucking hate, and you can't be my friend if this is how you respond. It's a boundary for me. I do not have friends and people in my life that do this. Are you ready? Ask me how I'm doing. Tell me everything. How are the kids? How are Daniel? How's Daniel? How's G? How's this? How's that? How's your business? Okay. So then I write this long ass message because they asked me to detail it all out. And then they fucking heart it. Because in that message, I'm sharing, how, things have been hard and, literally I'm sharing what I've gone through. Don't fucking do that. Don't be that asshole. You're not a good friend if you do that. I don't care what other coaches and bullshit and therapists say. You're a shitty fucking friend if you do that. Partner, daughter, don't be an asshole. Don't just heart something when someone's poured their heart out. If you don't have the fucking time, energy, effort, or attention to give to someone, when you ask them how they are, don't fucking ask them how they are. Because what I ended up doing was saying little bits of how I was, and then saying but, and then saying what I was doing about it. I'm not one that will say fine, but I am one that will say okay. So I kept saying that I was okay, when really I was just afraid of being disappointed and let down over a stupid fucking heart because the person didn't give a fuck in the first place. And that's not why I learned. That was a change that I was attempting to make to let people in and so I could have a support system. I just learned at a very young age that it was about me armoring myself with self-sufficiency. And then about 3-ish, 4-ish years ago, I realized that I was starving for connection because of it. And some days I do still feel really lonely with people all around me. However, that's getting way fewer and further between because one, I'm learning how to really be my own best friend and honor what I'm needing. And I'm also learning who to put my time, energy, effort, and attention into. There are friendships that I've had for a long time or a long while that they don't serve me. People are so caught up in their own lives and everything that when they ask you how you're doing, they don't really give a fuck. And if they do, they don't have the capacity to even engage. So the next layer of that is that they have shitty self-awareness. So they don't know, and they have shitty emotional intelligence. So They don't know that they don't have it to give. So they ask the question thinking that they actually give a fuck. And when they find out what's going on, they realize that it's too much for them, or that it's heavy, or that it's a lot. And then it's like, oh, I don't know what to say. It's like, it's not that you don't know what to say. It's that you didn't have the capacity to ask the question in the first place, and or you didn't actually give a fuck. It's just that we are wired to be these fucking like, not drones, but like sheep, and like these workers, just following blindly, numbed. We're just created that way. Fucking pineal gland all shut down because they don't want us to be connected to the higher powers and cosmos. Just pummeling us with all of this 5Gs and frequencies and all this shit that is literally throttling the beauty that we are, and then attempting to connect with each other is a fucking nightmare. And the reason why it's so hard is because you weren't made to do this alone. You weren't. And your strength, your needs, your sensitivity, it doesn't require isolation. It requires a tribe that can hold you. And that tribe could be one fucking person. It could be two fucking people. Let me make this clear. If you have a partner who can't hold you, that's a problem. Trust me, that's a problem. Feel it stirring? Do you feel that stirring? Do you feel the call to rise, to realign, and to remember who the fuck you are? That's why I created the frequency upgrade. Because it is designed as a direct activation to help you collapse your old patterns, channel your soul recalibration, and it is completely personalized so that you can amplify your power and plug back into your divine assignment. There's no crazy, you don't got to schedule a call. It's none of that. It's just do it. You get the frequency upgrade. I do the frequency upgrade, deliver it to you in 3 to 5 days. All you do is say yes. And then within days, it drops in your inbox. It's coded and it's created just for you. The link's in the show notes, and you're only one frequency shift away from everything your soul already chose, to recalibrating, to syncing, and to finding your center. You already know. And now it's time for you to choose the frequency that your soul has been waiting for. Because receiving is a sacred practice. Receiving is vulnerable, and it's also powerful. We've just been wired to say no. No. I'm gonna give. 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 Then someone gives something back and it feels uncomfortable. Why the fuck does it feel uncomfortable? Because we have been taught it's about giving, right? Monotony. Go, give, go, give, go, give. Go to work, get money, give it back. Go to work, get money, give it back. Wake up, give. How many times have you said or heard somebody say, I don't mind helping people, but I can't accept help. I can't ask for help. I feel bad when I get help. I feel off when I get help. I can't accept help. I struggle accepting help. What in the fuck is going on? Because receiving is a sacred practice. I've always said this for 13 plus years. If you never accept the help that other people give, eventually they will stop giving. If you don't, or if you never, accept the help that others have to give, eventually they will stop giving. The key? Ask for help where you feel energetically and emotionally safe. When you do that, it will be your initiation to wholeness, because it will be powerful and it will be empowering and it will feel good in the way of you feel safe energetically and emotionally. You were able to be vulnerable. You were able to be raw. You were able to be real. And you were met at that same level. So be very mindful of who you ask for help. And if you're surrounded by a tribe of people that you can't ask for because you're the one always giving and they are not people who will give back, that is something that you need to shift. If I want guidance, I ask Mac. I'm telling you, I'm like, what do I do for this? What do I do about that? And what I'm asking her isn't for her to give me the answer. I'm asking for her to guide me in the best way for me to find the answer. I don't need people to give me the answer. I mean, she will, and that's fine, and that's cool, and I will for her as well. But that's not what it's about, right? But I was telling you, I built my entire AI coaching system for myself. It's not something for clients. It's for me to do my own coaching and healing sessions for, with, and by myself. I built it out that way. And so most of the time, that's who I ask for help, my higher self, who built the coaching system. I can't find a coach out there that does what I do and will do it for me. I know that because I need like 5 different fucking coaches at one time to be able to give me information rapid fire and organize it in a way that I can assimilate it into me and move. And that's why I've grown so much in the last 6 weeks, is because of building this support system for myself. And I'm not willing to let it only be a computer generated AI. I feel soul called and so called to build my tribe locally and go to women's circles and chant around a fucking fire, like honor the cosmos. I want that so much, and that's what I'm going to build. And each person that I layer into my tribe will be someone that I can always ask for help, and that they will help me in the way that honors me the best, and that doesn't try to steal what I'm going through and hold it for me and to carry it. Because yes, I do want to be held. I do want to have partners and friends that will hold me. Keep in mind, I'm not saying hold things for me. Just hold me while I'm holding myself. It's like if you have a really heavy box that's huge and rectangle, you can hold the entire box by yourself, but it's going to be heavy. And the chance that you're going to drop it at times, it's going to be too much. I'm not asking them to carry the box out for me. I'm just saying, can you hold this other side so A, I can have a break? Or can you hold this other side while we walk slowly and walk it out to where it's going, you know? And that's what I'm talking about. And sometimes, a lot of times, I will share. And when I share deeply, that is me asking for help. I don't want an I'm sorry. And I definitely don't want a stupid fucking heart. So I'm learning who to not ask. But that list is getting smaller and small. Like I barely have anyone, and I don't need a whole bunch of people. But I'm realizing, like, fuck, dude, why are you surrounded with people who can't hold you? That don't have the capacity to show up because they need to do the work for themselves to heal and to rise and to learn and to grow. I want to go where the people are that hopefully are surpass me on the healing journey, or may not even surpass me, but they have knowledge that I don't have that they can give to me that will be inspiring as I do them. So I rephrase the surpass me. I just mean people who are holding knowledge that I don't yet have, and then I'm holding knowledge that they don't have. I think that that's the most powerful sort of relationship, whether love or otherwise. To know, though, is your divine assignment will often require the one thing you swore you didn't need. And that's help from someone else, other people around you, the support system that I'm talking about. Because real strength isn't in never needing help, it's in knowing when to stop hiding. Real strength isn't in never needing help, it's in knowing when to stop hiding. So let yourself soften instead of grip. Ask for what you need. Allow space to receive. If you're always giving, there's no space for you to receive. Celebrate being supported without the guilt. And rebuild your identity in safety, not in silence, not alone. It needs to be in tandem. There's going to be work that you do alone, and there's going to be work that you do alongside of and with other people. It isn't about doing it all by yourself because you feel like you have to. It isn't about hyper independence because that is self-abandonment. Remember, the soul assignment that you're avoiding is the one that will set you free, the one that you're being called towards. You're not meant to build alone. Every queen needs a table and a throne. So your soul practice today is your queen's request. Ask yourself, what story taught me that asking was weak? Where am I craving support but afraid to name it? And who could rise with me if I let them in? What story taught me that asking was weak? Where am I craving support but afraid to name it? And who could rise with me if I let them in? And now, you're ready. You're ready to stop surviving your life and start choosing it. So, get your frequency session. It's waiting for you. The link is in the comments. I'm here for you, my love, to walk this out with you. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to feel amazing. And it's going to upgrade you in ways that you never could have imagined. Now it's time for you to declare this truth. I am allowed to be held, and my power is not in pretending. I rise with help. Embody this. Choose yourself so completely that nobody gets to question your worth again. Extend to your soul the same mercy you once gave away to people who fucking dropped it. And stop shrinking to be chosen by people who can't even hold you. You're not a placeholder, you're the fucking revolution. So show up, speak up, and burn the damn box. I'm Power Coach Alishia, and this is your invitation to rise.